Take your time for yourself. Loving life, nothing else. We don't know what we are here for. We just know that in a place like this, we'll find the space and time to let loving exist.